Okay, so we're going to use this given set of data and we're going to determine what does our stem and leaf plot look like, what is our mean, median, mode, and range of the given set of data. So excuse any really bad handwriting. I'm going to try to do the best that I can when writing with the mouse. So I'm going to use an S for stem and I'm going to use an L for leaves. So we're looking at this data set. So we have 7, 11, 18, 9, 10, 22, 14, 8, 12, 19, 14, 11, 15, 16, and 23. Remember that your leaves are always your ones place and your stems are going to be our tens place in this instance. So if I have 11, then it's going to be a 1 stem, the line, and then a 1 leaf. So that would represent 11. So this is going to be kind of our key to help us out. And then we're going to determine what is the mean, what is the median, what is the mode, and what is the range. Okay, so 7. You notice that 7 doesn't have a stem, so we're going to put a 0 in its place. So I need a stem of 0, and I'll come back to the leaves in a minute. I need a stem of 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, so I know I need a 1. And then I'm also going to need a stem of 2 because of these 20s. You notice that I'm not going to need a 3 because none of these numbers say 30 anything. I don't need 4s because none of these numbers are in their 40s, none are in their 50s, 60s, and so on. So I'm only going to look at now the ones that would have a stem of 0. So these are the ones that are single digits. So we have a 7, we have a 9, we have an 8. I need to put those in order from least to greatest. So it's going to be 7, 8, and 9. So because I've used those, I'm going to go ahead and mark them out. Now I'm going to look at the ones that have stems of 1s. So these are our 10s and our teens. So we have 11, 10, 14, 12, 14, 19, can't forget the 19, 11, 15, 16, and then I forgot this 18 up here, so we're going to count that as well. So the ones are going to have the most leaves out of all of these. So I have a 1, an 8, a 0, a 4, a 2, a 9, a 4, a 1, a 5, and a 6. So out of all of those, the smallest one is going to be a 10. And then it's going to be these 2 11s. So I'm going to put 2 1s, 1, 2. So that represents 11 and 11. And then I have a 12, so I'm going to put a 2. And then I have 14, so I have 2 14s, so I'm going to put 2 leaves of 4. And then I have a 15, so I'm going to put a leaf of 5. I have 18, 19, and 16, so the next one we're going to go is 16, so I'm going to put a leaf of 6. And then 18, so a leaf of 8. And 19, so a leaf of 9. And then the next one I'm going to go to is 22 and 23. So I'm going to do a leaf of 2 and a leaf of 3. So this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 12, 14, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 22, 23. I'm going to make sure I have the same amount of leaves as I do the same amount of pieces of data in my data set. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the reason why I count those is because I want to make sure that I don't forget any of the data in my data set. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and do the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So the first thing you need to remember is that your range is going to be the difference between the largest number and the smallest number. So your largest number is always going to be the very last stem and the very last leaf. So our largest number is 23. The smallest number is going to be the very first stem and the very first leaf. So that is 7. So I'm going to do 23 minus 7, and that's going to give me 16. So my range is 16. That means that there are 16 numbers between 7 and 23 on a number line. The next one I'm going to do is the mode, the number that I see the most. So I'm going to go through each of the different sets of stems and leaves and see if there's any leaves that repeat themselves on a given stem. So if I look at the stem of 0, I have 7, 8, and 9. Nothing repeats itself. If I look at the stem of 1, I have 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8, and 9. So I see that there are 2 1s and 2 4s. And then I go over here to the stem of 2, and I see a leaf of 2 and a leaf of 3. So nothing here repeats itself. So I actually have two modes. I have 11 and I have 14 because those are the two numbers that are represented the most and the same amount of times. So my mode is 11 and 14. And then I'm going to do the median. The median is the number in the middle. So I'm going to use a highlighter. And then I'm just going to highlight my highest number, lowest number, highest number, and I'm going to take turns going from high and low until I end up with the number in the middle. So because 15 is an odd number, that tells me that there's going to be exactly one number in the middle. Had I had 16 pieces of data, the number is even, telling me I would have two numbers in the middle. I would have to add together and divide by 2 to find the median. But because 15 is odd, I will have exactly one number in the middle. So 7, 23, 8, 22, 9, 19, 10, 18, 11, 16, 11, 15, 12, 14. So I have exactly one number in the middle, which is 14. So my median is 14. So I'm going to do a little bit of cheating here, and I'm going to use a calculator to help myself with the mean, because otherwise I have to do a lot of writing with the mouse, and that does not work very well for me. So I'm going to take all of the pieces of data from my number set. I'm going to add them all together, and then I'm going to divide by 15 because remember there are 15 pieces of data. So I'm going to do 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 11 plus 12 plus 14 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16 plus 18 plus 19 plus 22 plus 23. And that gives me a grand total of 209. And I'm going to divide that by 15. When I do that, I get 13.93 repeating. So my mean is going to be 13.9 repeating. 13.93 repeating, I'm sorry. Because all of these numbers in the data set are pretty much centered around the tens, the mean and the median are always going to be relatively close if the numbers in the data set are relatively close to each other. So 13.93 is relatively close to 14, so I am fairly confident that these numbers are right, and we are good to go.